What if I told you that right now, today, there are two cities in the Bay Area that are about to do exactly what Fremont did just a few years ago? Prices that are still reachable, homes that are still available, and a window, a real window that is closing fast. I am Phuong, East Bay Realtor, and today I want to share with you something I truly believe. Livermore and Hayward are the next Silicon Valley spillover cities. And if you're even curious a little bit, stay with me because this can genuinely change your life. Let me back up for a second and tell you why I'm even talking about this. Well, you know how people talk about Fremont, how it used to be affordable. Not that long ago, a few years ago, Fremont was not the city that people wanted to reside. It was the city that people settled for because they got priced out in Cupertino, Santa Clara, San Jose, Peninsula, and then slowly and very quickly, Fremont became its own thing. New restaurants, new development, bar, school, all of that. And then people realized, wait, I can live here now. Now Fremont medium home price is sitting around 1.2 to 1.4. It happened fast. And I believe this is my personal opinion as someone who used to live in Fremont and work in the East Bay. Things are setting up just for Livermore and Hayward just now. Now let's talk about this. First, let me explain the pattern because this keeps happening over and over in the Bay Area. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Silicon Valley companies like Google, Apple, Facebook, they pay the workers really well. But those workers cannot afford to live there anymore. Sunnyvale, too expensive. Santa Clara, too expensive. San Jose, get in there. Milpitas is skyrocket. So people got to move further out. They got on the train, they commute, they take company shuttle. Those cities just not far enough. And the cities that are just far enough away to still be affordable and still connected, those cities explode. We saw it in Fremont, we saw it in Dublin, Pleasanton, and even Sanamon. And I believe we are watching the early stages of that same story happening right now in Livermore and Hayward. Let me break it down both cities for you. Livermore, if you've never been to Livermore, you need to just go drive through it one weekend. I think a lot of Bay Area people are still thinking Livermore as a just hot, far out suburb, nothing going on. And that picture is very out of date. Let's start with home price. Medium home price 1 to 1.1 million. In some areas, you still can find home around 8 to 900K. So right now, Livermore gives you a chance to buy something real for around $1 million. A number that feels scary, but until you realize that for that same number, you can get a home, 3 bedroom and a yard, 2 car garages. Let's talk about commute. It takes 45 to 60 minutes. Is that a long commute? Yes. But here's the thing I want you to think about. A lot of tech companies now hybrid schedules. 3 days in office, 2 days from home. That completely changes the math. If you're only commuting 3 days a week, a 60 minutes drive feels a lot more manageable when you come home to a house that big. Schools in Livermore, 7 to 9 out of 10 rating, but not Salomon unified level. But here is the real truth. When the community grows, the school districts get stronger. I'm going to on not Solomon Valley Unified School District level, but genuinely good schools, and they get better as the community grows. The climate, yes, is hot. We're talking about 90 to 100-degree hot in July and August. But if you've been living in San Francisco or on the peninsula your whole life, yes, that's real change, adjustment that you got to do. But spring and fall in Livermore, absolutely gorgeous, surrounded by wine country. The wineries Livermore. You can just drive down on the Saturday afternoon. Nobody talks about this enough, I think. What else is growing in Livermore? The downtown area has significantly new developments, new restaurants, country. The wineries Livermore. You can just drive down on the Saturday afternoon. Nobody talks about this enough, I think. What else is growing in Livermore? The downtown area has significantly new developments, new restaurants. The downtown area has been improving significantly over the last few years. New restaurants, new shops, breweries. It still has more room to grow, and but that is exactly the point. Also, the Lawrence Livermore Lab. This is one of the most important science and research facilities in the country. It employs thousands of scientists, researchers, and engineers right here in Livermore. So that is permanently economic anchor for this city. That doesn't go away. It's not going to go away. That keeps bringing smart, well-paid people into this city year after year. That matters a lot for home buyers. Okay, now let's talk about Hayward. Hayward has its reputation. Not everyone thinks of Hayward as a desirable city to move to. The reputation is exactly what I'm talking about. The cities that go from I wouldn't live here to wait. People are moving there now to oh wow, look at these prices. Those are the cities where the early buyers make the most money. Let me give you the numbers. Medium home price in Hayward around 800,000 to 900,000. Single family homes in Hayward can go up to 1.2 million. But um, but there are some significant inventories that homes are under 900K. That is the most affordable single family home market to both compared to both San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And that gap is not going to last. Commute to Hayward is shorter than from Livermore to Silicon Valley. It's about 30 to 40 minutes. It's significantly shorter than Livermore. Hayward sits right on A80, which is your direct shot south into Fremont and then Silicon Valley. And San Francisco is also easy from here. BART takes you straight into the city. So Hayward gives you access both ways, north to San Francisco, south to Silicon Valley. That's really powerful position to be in. Schools in Hayward, it needs some work. That is true. But here is what I see happening in other up and coming cities. As wealthier, more educated families move in, school qualities goes up. More parent involvement, more funding, more demand for better programs is a cycle. And it's already starting to happen in Hayward. Climate in Hayward, I don't think that people talk about enough. It's one of my favorite things about Hayward. The weather is nice all year round. It's not foggy like San Francisco, but it's not as hot as Livermore. We're talking about comfortable weather almost all year round. Summer in the 70s, 80s, winters is mild and green. To me, it's the best. Hayward has the best climate in the whole Bay Area. So, what else is going on with Hayward? Cal State East Bay is right there, which brings young people, education, energy, and development. The city has been investing heavily in downtown redevelopment. New multi-family housing is going up, And here is something really interesting. Hayward is being looked at seriously by biotech and life sciences companies as a more affordable alternative to South San Francisco lab space. When companies start moving into a city, housing house prices follow always. You know it. Now, let me bring back to Fremont for a minute. Bring back to Fremont for a minute because I think this is the most powerful argument I can make for why you should pay attention right now. Just a few years ago, we're talking about 2021, 2022, or a little bit before that, you could buy a solid home in Fremont for around $900,000 to a million. People say, eh, Fremont, I don't know. Is it really worth it? And now that the same home in Fremont is 1.2, 1.4, and sometimes more. The people who bought in Fremont when everybody else was hesitating, they're sitting on a $300,000 to $400,000 in equity right now in just a few years. That pattern, I am seeing it again right now in Livermore and in Hayward. People are still hesitating, still saying Livermore is so far. Hayward, I don't know about Hayward. In my opinion, that hesitation is the opportunity. So I'm going to give you my prediction. And I want to be clear. This is my personal opinion based on what I see on the ground every single day as a realtor in this market. This is not a guarantee. Real estate always has risk. But here is what I think. Hayward, give or take 2 to 5 years. I think Hayward is closer to its inflection point. It's already geographically connected. The infrastructure is there. The redevelopment is already happening. What Hayward needs is one or two more big companies to move in, or a strong wave of buyers getting priced out in Fremont or Peninsula. I think it's already happening. It's not just 3 or 5 years from now, but it's happening. Livermore, 5 to 8 years. Livermore has more runway. It's further out. The downtown still has more growing to do. But Livermore has something really special going on for space. There's room in Livermore to build, room for new neighborhoods, new development, new businesses, and as remote and hybrid work continues to normalize, the distance from Silicon Valley matters less and less. People will trade the commute for the space, the value, and the quality of life. I've seen it happen. I'm watching it begin to happen again. So look, I'm not here to tell you that Livermore or Hayward are perfect. They're not perfect. Livermore gets hot. The commute is real. Hayward schools need work. Downtown is still developing. These are real things. I believe, but here's what I do know. The Bay Area has a pattern. Silicon Valley pushes people outward. The outer cities absorb the demand, and eventually every city gets its moment. Fremont had its moment. Dublin, Pleasanton had their moment. And I believe Livermore and Hayward are the next in line. The question isn't whether it's going to happen. The question is, are you going to be there before it does? If you've been thinking about buying, if you've been feeling priced out of Fremont or San Jose or the Peninsula, I want you to go take a drive through Livermore one weekend. Go walk around downtown Hayward and ask yourself, could I see myself here in 5 years? Because in 5 years, the people who are asking that question today and saying yes, those people are going to be very glad they did. I am Phuong, is by a realtor. My information is in the description box below. If you need help to navigate the market, feel free to reach out. See you in my next video. Bye.